Now that we got the box framed up and fleeced, I'll give you a few tips on fleecing and framing. The framing, you want to make sure it's pretty solid, you know, it's pretty sturdy, because when you stretch your fleece over, sometimes you may have to pull it a little tighter in some of the areas, especially like here in the center. You want to make sure that you pull it tight enough that you get your inner rings, you know, the inside of your rings, because you'll want this surface flat as possible for your speakers. Whenever you set your speakers down in there, whenever it's finished, you'll want some separation. So this gives you the separation. It helps define where the rings are, so that when this is all finished and fleeced and fiberglassed, it'll for one look better, and for two, you'll have a much better surface to mount your subs on. I just use 5/16 staples, and I try to make sure that the sides are very smooth. There's no wrinkles. If there's any wrinkles, I'll pull back and I'll go ahead and I'll staple it back a little further, because when you go to cut this after it's been fiberglassed, you'll want to try to cut it relatively straight. You'll want to give yourself no less than a thumb's width, an inch, inch and a half. I usually go about an inch and a half. That gives me a nice wide seal area. That way, whenever I do go back in and I seal it with the sealer, I've got plenty of lip on it all the way around. So you'll just want to kind of make sure that that's as smooth as possible as far as that goes, especially for the sealing purposes. And this particular box, I believe I am going to put a port in it, like at the side somewhere. I'll just put a couple small ports in each side. Tins, you can have them sealed if you want, or you can port them. Actually, what I may wait and do is wait and see how it sounds after I get it done. I won't put the carpeting on until after I've heard it. If it sounds okay sealed, I might leave it sealed. And if I don't like the way it sounds sealed, then I'll just go ahead and I'll go online and I'll get my box calculator and figure out how long I want my ports. And I'll just build a couple of ports. Surprisingly enough, this box actually is very, very solid. When I started building it, I was a little bit worried that it might not be super solid, but the rings are really solid, the framework is solid, the box is pretty solid, so I believe I'm going to have a really good box whenever this is done. So whether I keep it sealed or I port it, it won't really matter. It should be a really good box. It should last quite a while. And that's kind of what you're going for here. You want a box that's going to last you a while. You don't want something that you're just going to throw away in 2 or 3 months. You want something pretty solid, pretty heavy. The boxes I make, being I'm not running no 5,000 watts or 10,000 watts, it doesn't really matter to me. You can look into whatever wood that you want to use, or MDF board if that's what you choose to use. 3/8, 7/8, inch, whatever it is you decide to use to make your box out of, whether it's for 10s or 12s or 15s or 18s or 24s or whatever size you decide you're making. These are just kind of instructions of how I do stuff and the way that I do it. Yeah, by the way, this is just one of those fleece blankets from Walmart. They're like $2.50, and you get enough material to make like 2 of these boxes, or to make a 12-inch box and a 10-inch box. And then I usually save the scraps, because I may actually do like a pillar pod or something later, or something like that, you know. it's nice to have a little bit of scrap left around just in case you decide to do something small with it. Don't save up every single piece of scrap you get, but you can save some for little projects later. Or maybe I want to make a set for 6x9s for my truck or something, you know. Or maybe for a little set of 8s for my truck. I don't know. Anyways, back to the box. Once you get this all fleeced and nice and tight, and make sure that you've got relatively smooth edges on it, you know, like I say, I use the 5/16 staples with just a Stanley staple gun to staple these in. Once they're done though, once you're done, you know, you're not going to take these staples out because it'll be fiberglass. Anyways, yeah, you'll want to make sure everything's smooth, even. Make sure it looks nice. Make sure you got nice flat surface here for when you put your subs in, flat surface there. You know, and that's the whole idea of stretching these in the middle a little extra to give yourself your flat surfaces. So we'll get to fiberglassing it after a while. I've actually, anyways, thank you for watching. I appreciate it.